Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so once again, we've got narrative versus reality. I keep hearing all kinds of talk coming from the Kamala campaign and a bunch of Democrat surrogates suggesting that Donald Trump's recent statements have really turned things around for them. We all remember all the talk about widespread condemnation and a big shift following the MSG rally. Tony Hinchcliffe's comments gave Kamala Harris the big boost that she needed, and then of course, we saw the same thing as Democrats tried to blow out of proportion and totally misrepresent Trump's Liz Cheney comments. Supposedly, this is exactly the ammunition the Democrats needed to turn this whole thing around. But I don't know, it seems as though they're trying to force that narrative more so than that's actually what's happening. You know, usually, if it's a big blunder that's gonna have a major impact electorally, it should be something indefensible. You know, a statement or a scandal that gets universal bipartisan condemnation. But that isn't what's happening here at all. No, not even close. Like I keep covering in these videos, all of these big scandals, these big October surprises, these big Donald Trump blunders, not only seem to be falling short, but even lifelong career Democrats aren't buying it and aren't running with it. You know, the last time with Tony Hinchcliffe's comments, it was Jon Stewart who said, yeah, not so sure about that, maybe let's pump the brakes. And now with the Liz Cheney comments, we've got Bill Maher pretty much saying the exact same thing, accusing the Democrats of lying, misrepresenting what actually happened, and really completely calling them out. I don't think Democrats got the win that they think they did. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so yesterday was Jake Tapper pumping the brakes on the I'll do it whether women like it or not scandal, or rather let's call it hoax. I think that's a way better descriptive term. And today it's Bill Maher not jumping on this Liz Cheney nonsense.
What do you make of the statement? I woke up today to the headline that Trump had called for a firing squad for Liz Cheney. And this is what I really don't like about the media. No, he didn't. He did not. You don't have to move me to not like Donald Trump.
He says more so many shitty things. Why do you have to do that?
And by the way, if you Pete don't realize it, well, here's what he said. He's criticizing her for being a war hawk. Yeah. I mean, she is Dick Cheney's daughter. He said, she's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay. Let's see how she feels about it. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, we'll send tens of thousands of troops right into the mouth of the enemy. Now, of course, he expresses himself horribly. He has to add, she's a stupid person because he's a moron.
Well, Trump knows what it's really like from Vietnam.
Okay. But, just to be clear, this is exactly what hippies always said. This is exactly what peaceniks always said. This is Fortunate Son, the song. It's like, you know what? It's very easy to sit in your building and send young men to die. Apropos of Ukraine.
Yes.
Because, I don't know, that war doesn't look like it's going in the right direction.
Not at all, no.
But just so, you know, just don't lie to me. I don't like Donald Trump. Don't lie to me and tell me he wants in front of a firing squad. He was saying something that, by the way, if it came out of the mouth, some of it, not the stupid part, again, sounds like what hippies used to say about Bill, not sending people to, yes.
I agree with you on the lying. I mean, that is ridiculous and absurd and counterproductive. But when did Donald Trump ever criticize a war hawk the way a hippie did? I mean, was it during Vietnam? He got out of going to Vietnam, but he didn't criticize
I'm not
the war,
defend,
the Iraq war.
Jamie,
yeah.
I'm not defending Trump.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, don't lie to me.
Yep. That's pretty much it. Democrats aren't convincing anyone. Like I keep saying, the only people they're really motivating with this nonsense are the vote blue no matter who blue anon shills. It's also totally ridiculous. What they're trying to do is drum up some faux outrage once again and try to put Donald Trump's back against the wall, force him to assume the fetal position and just grovel and apologize. But it's obviously not working. Their own voters don't even buy it. And Donald Trump, well, he doesn't seem to be flinching, not even for a second. Trump has already addressed the supposed career-ending scandal, and he seems completely unfazed.
Comments last night as a threat against her life. What is your response to that?
I think that Liz Cheney is a disaster. All she wants to do is blow people up. She's a war hawk and a dumb one at that. And if you ever put her into the field of battle, she'd be the first one to chicken out. She wouldn't fight. She'd chicken out so fast. And that's all I say. These are the people. They don't mind people, but if they had to do it themselves, she wouldn't fight. She's a coward.
The media is bringing this thing up as if it's gonna stump Donald Trump. He won't know what to say, he's gonna get caught like a deer in the headlights, forced to apologize, but instead he just doubles down and literally says the same thing. And it's the right thing to do because what Donald Trump said wasn't scandalous. The supposed scandal came from Democrats attempting to rewrite what he said, misrepresenting the intent or the context of his speech. It's not gonna work. And obviously, if you're deceptively editing your opponent, and that's all you got for your political attacks in your October surprise, and well, in my view, that's a signal for a losing campaign. It means you have nothing. I think Scott Jennings hit the nail on the head with his analysis on CNN.
I personally think that any fair review of this remark is really simple. He was making a crude, if well-worn argument that often comes from the anti-war left and that I heard repeatedly during the Bush years about politicians who vote to authorize wars being forced to fight in them. It's called the chicken hawk argument. It's been around probably since Vietnam or maybe before. So I actually disagree with the argument. I think it's a bumper sticker way of dealing with complex matters of national security. So here I am, a Republican who disagrees with Trump, but I'm absolutely appalled by the disinformation about what he actually said. It started with a deceptively edited clip this morning and took off like wildfire. He did not call for her to be put in front of a firing squad. That did not happen. Even his most persistent critics, some of them today, have admitted as much. I think this episode, Wolf, to be honest, goes on the ever-expanding bonfire of credibility of the hysterical anti-Trump left. And I think the people pushing this today, honestly, Wolf, are one of the principal reasons I'm going to wind up voting for Trump. I don't like, if you wanted to criticize this man, there's plenty. You do not have to make things up to criticize Donald Trump. And I think some of it, frankly, was spun up to distract from a terrible jobs report, if you want my honest opinion.
And I noticed something interesting there. Democrats were hoping for bipartisan condemnation from Democrats and Republicans, both coming together to voice their outrage over Trump's supposed horrific statement. But instead, it seems as though the bipartisan consensus here is that Kamala Harris is lying, and that Donald Trump is actually saying something or making an argument that historically has come from left-wing anti-war activists. Bill Maher said it perfectly. That's what the hippies used to say. I guess it's more proof that the Democrat Party has really they've embraced being the party of warmongers, the party of war. No longer does the left represent this anti-establishment, peace-seeking movement, but rather, the Democrat Party has become the party of the Cheneys, literally, unironically.
Some progressives are uncomfortable with Liz Cheney. Should they still feel as though you want their vote and they are a part of the Democratic coalition?
Well, let me start by saying that I think Liz Cheney has shown extraordinary courage. I'm proud to have the support of Republicans who have long been a loyal member of the Republican Party, who are saying it's a bridge too far. They want a president who supports the Constitution of the United States, does not want to terminate it, as does Donald Trump.
You've spent a lot of time on the campaign trail with former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, as you referenced. Is she somebody who you would consider putting in the cabinet? Have you talked with her about this topic? I'll keep you posted.
So I do want to say a bit more about Liz Cheney. You all know her leadership, and she has obviously and so importantly been a leader for the people of Wyoming, but she has also been an extraordinary national leader and has served with great honor.
Just think about it. Kamala Harris has spent months at this point not only embracing Liz Cheney, but calling her a hero. That's what the left has become. And now voters, again, are left with, in my view, a very simple decision. Are you going to support the side that constantly lies to you? Bold-faced lies and misrepresentations? I think that's really what it boils down to. The Democrats think you're too dumb to understand, or they think you're too partisan, that all people care about is winning, just playing party politics. Now, while there are certainly people who fit that description, not everybody's a partisan team player. And so the Democrats have sort of crafted this campaign that only seems to appease and go after their most loyal voters who are going to vote for them anyways, when the whole point of a general election is to win over the undecided voters, the independents, the moderates, the people who can be convinced to go either which way. But now those people, those honest, middle ground people who kind of place a lot of value on intellectual honesty, they're seeing this. They're seeing bold-faced lies, misrepresentations, out of context edited clips, and the media running wild with it. And I think a lot of people are telling themselves, you know, you can get my vote without lying to me. There's ways to do this without resorting to Soviet-style propaganda. I don't know, friends. I just feel like their tactics aren't working. I know there's a lot of dooming and glooming happening on X from conservatives kind of buying into this narrative that the Kamala campaign is gaining all kinds of ground with this stuff, but I feel like if I was to buy into that, I'd have to assume that the majority of the American electorate is intellectually dishonest or dumb. I don't believe that. I think this stuff is going to backfire big time. I think most people are smart enough to see through overt lies and misinfo and misrepresentation, and I truthfully, honestly think that what we are seeing is peak desperation in the unraveling of the Kamala campaign. My view is that not only has Kamala run a horrible campaign, but she's probably run the most deceitful, most propaganda-filled, most dishonest campaign in American history. I guess we'll have to see, does lying actually pay off? Well, I think on November 5th, or probably a week after, we're gonna get a yes or no answer now, won't we? Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.